Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're checking in from. Hello, thank you for being here. It's such an honor and a blessing that you can be here today, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to come and be here. Hioho Mitakiape, Ava Cordovi, Machiape, Malakota, and Taos Pueblo. My Dama is Joseph Conquilla Cordova. My Ina or my Ka is Patricia Crow Cordova. I'm sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud. I'm the owner-operator of AC and Associates. I'm a mother, daughter, community member, grandmother, unchi, auntie, big sister, little sister. I'm a twin. I'm all kinds of things. I'm not royalty yet, but I'm going to learn a lot from these royalty individuals that are going to join us today. So, hello everybody. My name is Averill Cordova. I'm half Taos Pueblo on my father's side. I'm half Oglala Lakota on my mother's side. I live in Los Angeles. However, I'm Taos Pueblo and Oglala Lakota. I'm very proud of that. I'm really excited that you all can be here. If you don't know, we're streaming on 5 different platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and another Facebook PowWows.com page. So thank you all for being here. I'd like to introduce my co-host and very best sister, one of my best sisters. I better not say that all too much because I have 2 other real sisters, but this is my Indian sister, and I'm gonna bring her on now. So here she comes, and here she is.
Aloha. Yes, I'm laughing because I was like, oh, she shouldn't say that with her. Anyways, aloha, skuktash, aninap chiguk, Jennifer Varenchek, aniat tonatham. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Varenchek. I'm from the Tonatham Nation, and I am streaming in today from the illegally occupied Kingdom of Hawaii on the island of Oahu in the community of Kahului. I'm very happy to be here. I am not royalty at all, but so admire people that have been able to accomplish a royalty title. And I'm also looking forward to learning more about what that journey is like. And I'm just excited to be here. This is really, really cool. I also wanted to just say that I sympathize with the heat wherever you are. Over here, it's not as bad. It's like in the 80s, but it has been hot. But we're very fortunate that we're able to go to the water, and it's all around us. We're on an island, so but I know that talking to other people in other states that it's been unbearable. So I'm sorry about that. Anyways, thank you, Averill. Back to you.
Thank you, Jen, for being here. Jen, again, is here from Hawaii, and I'm checking in from the Los Angeles area, also known as, what is it also known as, Jen?
Tongva territory, and
Yes.
then a word that begins with a Y, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I've only seen it written. Um, but I believe it's from the Tongva language.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Tongva territory, there's a lot of other territories that surround us. The Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians is to the north, and then we have others to Kumeyaay, south of, San Diego, the Hachiman. There's a whole bunch of us still here. So if you didn't know, we're still here. And I always want to make sure that we recognize the lands that I'm visiting on because these are not my homelands. So with that said, I also, as an entrepreneur, I do a lot of different things. So this here is one of the things that I do, and do online events and different types of trainings and such. So I just want to say a prayer because I always do prayer whenever I start things, whenever I wake up, when I'm going through bad things. So I have some California white sage here, and I have some cedar, but I'm going to go ahead and light up some California white sage, and I'm going to say a small blessing so that we can make sure that everything goes well, as well as technology. Technology can be a lot. It can be, you know, you can get no internet, bad internet. You can hear me, not hear me. But I do want to say a prayer um, for us today. So please allow me that time. Creator, we come to you today with open hearts and open minds, thankful for the many blessings that you provide us on a minute, monthly, second basis, from the ability to walk, talk, be here today, to learn, to laugh, to visit. Creator, I ask that you watch over those individuals that are struggling with health, mental health, addiction, homelessness. I ask that you watch over them as you watched over me. I also ask, Creator, that you watch over these young people, these individuals that are here today, to help understand what tribal royalty is, to understand what leadership is, those that have just come into their reign and just learned what it is that their crown means, or what it is that their title means. They're going to learn from each other, Creator, and I'm so thankful to have had this idea because of my nephew. Please continue watch over these individuals if they've already completed their journey on their leadership or on their reign. Continue to allow them to know that that leadership continues throughout their life. Creator, I ask that you watch over the individuals that are watching this program right now, whether it be now in the real time or in replay. Creator, I ask that you help them with whatever it is that we're going through. We're all going through something. We're all dealing with something, but I ask, Creator, that you watch over these amazing individuals. Let them love, laugh, be strong, and be proud of who they are, where they come from, and where they're going. Ta'a, pilamayaye, gracias, etiehet, ajonesle, ajonesle, ajonesle. Amen. Aho. Thank you for allowing me that time. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jen.
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful prayer. Much needed. Before we get started, I wanted to acknowledge some partnering organizations. We have Big Crow Consulting. We also have PowWows.com, and one that I'm very connected to right now, the Phoenix Indian Center Youth Department. The Phoenix Indian Center Youth Department has a program where they compare a small business up with or actually it could be a large business. I'm just thinking of myself as a small business. But you are paired up with a student and you can have a summer intern. And I myself, Native Muse Productions, have a summer intern right now. And I know, April, you have one as well. The experience has been great. It's been wonderful. I am really proud of the fact that I'm able to help educate and introduce the business world to a young Native student. And I look forward to participating in this program again if they have it, if they'll have me back. My intern and I are working on, or he is working on, not me, our event in November, which is Native American Heritage Month. We are going to be really pushing our traditional Tuesdays, which is every Tuesday in November. We encourage people to eat their traditional indigenous foods that are pre-colonization. So although fry bread is like widely known as, Native American food, it is a food that was created after colonization based on what we were given. And I'm looking more to our traditional vegetables, our traditional meats or fishes or whatever. We want to encourage Native people to eat their traditional foods on Tuesday. So my intern, Kavian, has been working on making flyers, and actually he's coming up with a marketing plan. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really excited to see what he thinks would help get the word out. So Thank you again, Phoenix Indian Center. We really appreciate you being able to pair us up with young people. And I believe that is my time when it comes to mentioning our partners.
Thank you, Jen, for being here. Thank you for mentioning that. As Jen stated, Phoenix Indian Center does have an internship program, which I am a part of as well, as Jen mentioned. And what does that look like for me as an entrepreneur? It looks like this. It looks like this program. I do a lot of things. I have a lot of crazy ideas, and AC and Associates, AC, that's me, Averill Cordova, and Associates, I always like to say, are my friends and individuals that help me bring these crazy ideas together. So let me tell you a little bit about how this was brought together. My nephew is a junior in high school, and he recently obtained a title for his high school. And I was so proud of him. And I asked him, "What is it that you do? What is it that you're going to do?" And he was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Well, um, we need to do something about that. We need to ask other royalty what they did. We need to see how you can become that leader that your title wants you to become." Thus is why this came up, because it was because of my nephew, because he got a title. I want to encourage him. I want to support him. I want him to know and learn from the best, which are our people, our other royalty. I know that there are royalty here now that might be in their first or second year, or this might be very new to them. So I want each other to work and learn off of each other, the goods, the bads, and what you do and don't know. Coming into this, I thought I would just call royalty and say, "Hey, you want to be on my live event?" What I found out too is that some royalty have committees. You have to submit your request to that committee first, and then get a response, um, and that can take some time. And this was on Friday. So obviously, these are learning experiences for me as well. So this is how this event came to fruition, is because of my nephew. But I also know that a lot of individuals out there want to learn, want to know, and want to become royalty if they can. So what does that look like? And brought a whole bunch of individuals together to um, to learn from each other. So I just want to shout out some individuals that weren't able to make it today, but were able to submit their photos, which you saw earlier. We have Kiara Love Flores, Kat Warren, Annalise Jackson, Kikilani Lowry, and Elena Rhodes. So all of those royalty individuals did submit photos, which you saw earlier. However, there was one individual that really wanted to be here, and she was not able to. She has to work. However, she wanted me to read her story or share her story. So I'm going to go ahead and share that story with you. First, let me pull up her picture, and then I will tell you a little bit about what she wants you to know. And then we'll get into the royalty that's here with us behind stage or in the green room, and we'll ask them a couple questions. So this is Kiera Love Flores. She is the Miss University of Riverside Powwow Princess. And the thing that she wanted you all to know is this. My name is Kiera Love Flores. I come to you from the Paula Indian Reservation, and I am the 2022-23 Miss University of Riverside Powwow Princess. In my year of representing this title, I learned a lot. No matter what, someone is always watching. And I've seen that a lot, especially with the youth. As I got older, I began to note I began to take note to the younger generation of powwow princesses and other powwow dancers. I'm 21 and I'm usually the oldest of the powwow princesses at any event I attend. And I found it very natural to have that older sister feel within me. Growing up as the oldest sister in my family, I really felt like an older sister to a lot of the younger generation. I took notice to how many of these younger girls would wait for me to make the first move whenever it came down to speaking first or lining up during grand entry. I felt that leadership I had to take. Being older, it's no big deal to do these kinds of things, but for these younger girls, it gives them an example of motivation. Once I began to see how much the younger generation was looking up to me, it changed my whole mindset on how I look at things. My whole life, I always thought it was the elders who really watch you, but it's the youth that do. They are the ones looking up to you and hoping one day to be like you. What really gave me motivation during my reign was these two young dancers in the picture. These young girls believe that powwow princesses are on the same level as Disney princesses. And when I heard that for the first time, I knew I had every intertribal. I always dance alongside the younger generation, and they really do love it when they look up and see someone dancing side by side next to them. During my reign, I feel like I learned how to be the big sister in the arena to everybody. And I feel honored to have been a part of the legacy of powwow princesses. I feel even more honored that I've motivated and encouraged the next generation to run for the titles like Miss Tiny Tot, Big Pine 2020, 22, 24, ran, pictured on the left, ran for a title because of Miss Saquon 2022, 2023, and myself, Miss UCR 2022, 2023. You don't realize how much you can change someone else's mindset and level of motivation to do something until they do it. I realize how much a little kindness and encouragement can go a long way. Always be kind to one another. Always treat them as your own brother and sister. I learned a lot this past year representing, and I will always continue to learn. The end. I always say the end because people think that they need to wait for me to continue talking. However, that was the end. I got a little bit emotional as well because it's true, you know, what she said. It's true about elders watching us, it's true about the younger generation watching us. It's true that I want to be an auntie to my nephew who got this title and wants to learn from other people. He's going to be a senior. Um, he's a senior. He's going to graduate this coming year. And I just know he's going to do awesome. And with the love and support around our community, and especially from all the royalty that showed up, I appreciate you. Ta, thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Jen because I'm emotional and I am not going to apologize for that. Tears to me are like water, they make things grow just like Mother Earth gives us rain. Um, they're not like water, they are water. What I meant to say is they're like rain, they make us grow. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Jen, I'm going to have you um, bring on one of the first royalty individuals or have them.
Great. Thank you. And I appreciate you expressing your emotion because it is emotional and we do need to normalize having being moved to tears because that's a positive thing. And especially when it comes to things like live events or anything where, just like you said, people are watching. I think it's important, and I'm glad that you got emotional because you also touched my heart, and I got emotional. So it was like a whole chain reaction thing happening. But let's bring on some royalty. We'd like to thank everyone that could make it today, this afternoon, and of course, thank you to those that could not make it, but you also submitted a picture. Um, I believe the first person that we have is Charlize King. Is that correct, April?
Well, we're going to bring on a whole bunch of them.
Oh, good. Okay,
So
excellent.
as I'm bringing them on, they can um, introduce themselves and tell
Oh,
us who they are.
that would be great. And I'm gonna go backstage so that you have more room to bring these beautiful faces on, but I'm here.
Okay. So I was talking earlier when we were doing sound check, um, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, "It's gonna be like the Brady Bunch," and then I was like, "Wait, she's too young. She might not know who the Brady Bunch is. It's gonna be like Zoom." So, hello everybody. I know there's some people still behind scenes. Starsha and Hannah. Let me let some more people in. Um, Jonah. So I'm going to have you all introduce yourselves while I'm letting other people in. So I'm going to go to my first individual that I can see, which is um, Shea Lucero. Did I say it right? I don't know if I said it right.
Shaye.
Shea.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Please introduce yourself and tell the world and tell these other beautiful individuals who you are and your title.
Guati Hopa, Shaye Lucero Ese, Awikame Akumesada, Trashkahanu Edzena Washdi Sada. Good afternoon, relatives. My name is Shaye Lucero. I am from the pueblos of Acoma and Laguna. I am of the Roadrunner clan from my mother and a turkey child from my late father. I currently reside in the pueblo of Laguna, and I am Miss India World from 1997. So I want to thank your sister, Songtree, for connecting me here. Because, been, even though it's been 26 years since I've held the title, when you receive a title, your community still sees that crown on you. And so would love to be able to share 26 years of being identified as royalty. I also I'm on the committee for the Miss Pueblo of Acoma and Miss Pueblo of Acoma teen pageant, although we are in a bit of a hiatus right now. But I can give you some insight as to how we in Acoma um, run or what we expect of our tribal title holders.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I'm so excited that you're here. I'm just so excited that all of you guys are here. Did I bring? Okay, the next person I'm going to have introduce themselves is Lakota.
Ate dagote Sheila Kota Kintlachini Yonsha, Narutus Ninshli Tapaha, Bandashi, Shicheya, Doja, Shanaya, Maidish Kizni. Hey guys, my name is Lakota Kinlachini. I am half St. Carlos Apache and Navajo. I am currently the reigning Mr. Indigenous first attendant at ASU. I'm a part of the ASU royalty committee here that makes up a group of four of us who all just recently were chosen to be a part of the royalty this year. So yeah, as well, this is my first year being royalty. So I'm kind of glad to be here to learn more about this. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and have Charlize introduce herself.
Hello, Yate. My name's Charlize, and I go to Fairfax, Betty Fairfax. I am a junior. Well, was junior. I'm going to senior year. Let me introduce myself. I'm Navajo. Let me introduce myself and my clans. Torujini, Nisne, Sinijini, Bashichin, Kis Ani Kloge, Belakana Dashanala. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and I so appreciate you being here and all those questions that you asked me in the beginning. Now is the time to sink in and learn from all these beautiful individuals that are here. So I'm going to have Miss Hilla River go next.
Skikdash Sapantakumye, Visachamwi, Anianap Chugik, Lehualani Dasala, Ani Gumki, Chichina Anajid Guriakamo, Nya Og Upchugik Arvis Dasala, Nijia Upchugik Lorraine Dasala, but Anian Visaliver 2023-2024. So good afternoon, everyone. It is so good to see you all. My name is Lehua Lani Dasala. I come from the village of Co-op on the Hill River Indian community, and I attend Mesa Community College where I major in fire science. I am the current Miss Hill River 2023-2024, and I represent the Akimarotham and the Peeposh people.
Thank you so much. I love to hear all of this. Okay, I'm gonna go with Starsha next.
Visuality she absose conse shema keshitahi arvis kelerain dasla conse shanala keshichin he Frank ke Sally dasla. It's been a long time, sorry. Shuia ke shichuhi Frank ke Sally dasla shanala keshichin he Roland ke Golding ke Fred Wesley conse Shuia sanhi Myrtle Peak goze kari sikinago hasti. Skitash Sapantakamui Onion Opchigik Starsha Dasla Ani Dakud with some. Oh, I'm sorry. So I have not done my introduction in so long for both Apache as well as Akimet Awesome. So my name is Starsha Bermudez. My parents are Arvis and the late Lorraine Dasla. My maternal grandparents are Roland and Carol Golding and Fred Wesley. My paternal grandparents are the late Frank and the late Sally Dasla. And my great grandmother is Myrtle Pete. I'm a former Miss Indian Cesar Chavez High School, former Miss Indian Phoenix Union High School District 2009 or 2008, 2009, and a former Junior Miss Hill River 2009, 2010. And Charlize, I'm actually really glad to see you because I'm actually the one who started the Miss Indian Fairfax High School pageant as well as the Miss Indian Cesar Chavez High School pageant. So I was, I believe, a junior in high school when I started both of those pageants. And it really makes me happy to be able to see those still going. And it makes me really happy to be able to see the Miss Indian Phoenix Union High School District come back. I also sit on the Hill River Royalty Committee, which is why I'm here, is to give insight from the committee's aspect. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad also to hear that what you started is continuing, that there's some amazing young people that are stepping into those moccasins or whatever type of kicks you guys wear out there. But I'm really glad that that's still going on. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next individual so that they can introduce themselves. Hannah.
Dat Hannah Kaidene, Yinche Kia Ani Inslan, Toricini Basichin, Tachini Dashache, Zitnachini Dashanale, and Tachini Dashache. Kinyata that Nasha, Auto Physics to Mathematics, but in stop. Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Nakaidene, and I am the Towering House fan, born for the Bitterwater fan. I'm originally from White Range, Arizona, and I am currently I'm going into my third year at Arizona State, double majoring in physics and mathematics. And I'm the current Miss Indigenous ASU for 2023 to 2024.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I love all of these introductions. And the other thing that I want to hear as well is the fact that individuals, as you say your introductions, they just become a part of who you are. I know my introduction has 3 languages actually. It has Taos Pueblo, Oglala Lakota, and English. And that's because I'm a language warrior and I am learning my language. So I like to take a part of each and everything and make it unique to me and who I am. So even though we may forget, even though, we are out of practice, practice makes better. That's what I tell my grandkids. Practice makes better. Doesn't make perfect because I'm not perfect, but as we continue to do it, we'll remember it. And I know that earlier, some people might not even have an introduction, might not even yet know what they're going to say or how they're going to say it. So this is a time to really hear others say it as well. Okay, I'm going to stop talking, and Jonah, I'm going to go to you next.
Yeah, shidene do shide yone shide Jonah Holiday initiate tulijin initially ashijin bashijin lokaden edache uzlanen dashnale tunenes hoye de nasha. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a busy morning. I've been stuck at Salt Lake City powwow because I'm up here in Salt Lake City for a Native American research internship. It's nice to see everyone on this Monday afternoon. I'm the Mr. Indigenous for Arizona State University, and I am from the Navajo Nation.
Nice. Thank you. The other thing that I noticed too, as I say my introduction and as you say your introduction, as we continue to say it, we can say it really fast because it's like second language to us, right? So I know that there are individuals that don't know it yet, can say it and say it really fast and are pros at it. So thank you all for saying it. I'm going to go ahead and I know some royalty are still coming in, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the Miss Indian Arizona, both of you guys, so you can introduce yourself, and then we'll continue on for the others that are here.
Hello, everyone. So I'm actually going to let my first attendant introduce herself first. So.
Hi, everyone. Shi'e Emily Aikinishe, Kia Ani Nishle, Vietnamese e Bashichin, Kinflichini e Dashiche, Vietnamese e Dashanella. So hello, everyone. My name is Emily Ike. I am first attendant to Miss Indian Arizona. I represent the Navajo Nation, and really thankful to be here today and to be able to join on the Tribal Royalty 101. A little bit about myself. I'm also a student at ASU, and I actually did hold a former title of Miss Indigenous Northern Arizona University in 2017. So it's amazing being able to support Sistine and help her represent all 22 federally recognized tribes here in Arizona. Ahiahet.
Skikdash, Anianap Chigik, Sistine Lewis, Aniad Miss Indian Arizona 2022-2023. Aniad ang Akmaratam Jivid, Ini Jiad Cecilia Andrews Lewis, Ini Agad Newt Lewis. So hello everybody, my name is Sistine Lewis. I am the 21-year-old daughter of Cecilia Andrews Lewis and the late Newt Lewis. I am a member of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community and this year's Miss Indian Arizona 2022-2023. And it is such an honor to represent all the 22 federally recognized tribes here in the state of Arizona. And currently, we're actually in Las Vegas for the National We Win Conference. So we're not actually back home in Arizona, but it's still pretty hot out here. We'd just like to say thank you again for having us on for the Tribal Royalty 101. And a little bit about me is I'm currently a student at Scottsdale Community College in the honors program, where I am learning to become a future labor and delivery nurse. And prior to that, I've actually held the titles of Junior Miss Salt River 2017-2018, Miss Salt River 2021-2022, and now Miss Indian Arizona.
Awesome. I love to hear all of that. I know a lot of people are in Las Vegas because there's a conference going on. There's also Indian Center out there, if you didn't know, and IHS, just in case you get hurt. But thank you all for being here. We have also, I'm going to bring on more royalty, UA Begay. However, I'm going to ask, hold on. I'm going to have, let's see, I need to take one of you off, or somebody can volunteer so that they can come on. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Just kidding. I'm going to take myself off, and then I'll bring that other person on. Just a moment. Technical difficulties.
I am here. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. So I guess I'll introduce myself. Yat you begin to share not kaiden ishle ki ani bashichin the betlishin say do to kabahan dashanale aquat egg on not lenishle auto coordination that nasha in the Tobangard de Gehestke auto Shema A Johanna Keith William auto Indigenous Pride LA Bakotra and Shle auto Public Health Higi Banishnish California State University at Ninilska. So hello everyone, my name is Yue Gay. I am of the Nomadic People Clan, born for the Towering House Clan. My maternal grandfather's clan is of the Black Sheep Clan, and my paternal grandfather's clan is of the Water's Edge Clan. I'm originally from Cayenta, Arizona, but currently I'm on Tongva People Land here in Los Angeles. I work in the public health field, and I am alumna from California State University Povegna, also known as California State University Long Beach. And my current title is I am Miss Quest 2019. So the Quest pageant is an advocacy pageant for transgender women of color here in Los Angeles. So yeah. Did everyone go? Am I supposed to pass it on to someone else?
Oh no, I think we just all look at each other and and do a wave, do your princess wave.
Oh, it's beautiful to see all of y'all on here, especially y'all who got all dolled up. I was like, oh crap, I need to get all my jewelry ready. I better not be upstaged.
It's hot here, so
it's
but
hot.
I'm glistening. I'm not sweating. I'm glistening.
It's hot and humid here in LA too.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I would wear my crown, but my crown is way too big and way too heavy. So I'm like, I'll just show her.
The new question popped up, and it says, "What does tribal royalty mean to you?" So, who wants to take this question first? Okay, the young man is smiling really big, so I'll
Want me to go first?
over to you.
Okay, I guess I'll volunteer first now. So personally, tribal royalty for me, I guess always growing up seeing Miss Navajo Nation and people that would hold those like titles growing up, I always saw them as like a person I could look to as like either as a role model status or as someone that I can go to if I'm running into problems. So like advocacy wise, like looking back at the last Mr. and Mrs. Indigenous Arizona states, I'd always look to them as individuals I could go to if I'm having like academic problems or how to like adapt to university life as a Native American and like stuff like that.
Who would like to go next?
I can. Oh, do you want to go up there? You two in the corner.
Miss in Arizona, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess tribal royalty for me is, I guess growing up, I remember I used to watch, I don't know if you guys have seen it, Toddlers and Tiaras. I used to see those, and I never knew there was ever tribal royalty pageants until in my own community when I first got introduced to them. And ever since then, it's been, I think, forever life-changing because you just get to see a personal like role model in your life. And for me, I don't have any sisters, so seeing this growing up, it's really inspirational to me, and I've always wanted to try to step out of my comfort zone and try for a position in this, and also be a mentor and role model as well to the youth, which is my platform, which is to promote culture amongst the youth. And I want the youth to know that no matter their age, if they want to run for a title, to go for it. And if anybody makes fun of you about it, don't let it get to you. Just try it, because you never know where it will take you.
Good answer, Miss Gila River. Would you like to take the question?
Yeah, so to me, being tribal royalty, it's being an ambassador, being that person that people look up to, And for me, in my community, there are two tribes, the Akimaratam and the Piposh. And so I represent both of them every time I put on my crown and my sash. I represent my people. And I feel like it's so important to remember what you're doing it for. Um, and even sometimes I have the chance to share a song or a dance. I was 6 years old and I started learning from my great grandmother, the late Myrtle P, and her partner McDonald Hughes. And so every time I sing, every time I dance, every time I speak the language, I'm always thinking about them and what they would have wanted for me and for our community. And everything I do culturally, I know that they're always watching over me, and along with my community. Thank you.
Good job. Is it Charlize?
Yeah, Charlize.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so what tribal royalty means to me is being connected with my people because I was born and raised in the city. I would occasionally every summer go to the res, but never really fully understand. Or I would understand, but like in the city, it's very fast and it kind of feels lonely as being like the only like Native American in your classroom. So from my high school, I was really surprised with they had a Native American Youth Council and at the title for Miss Indian Fairfax in the Chavez one, I was really surprised by that. And so what it really means is that being more connected with myself as well. And so it just means a lot to me and my people.
Great. You, Miss Bigay?
Yeah, so I think similar to a lot of the Navajos who answer this question, the Navajo Nation is riddled with like royalty pageants everywhere. I've had royalty pageants in grade school, in elementary school, middle school, and high school. Um, I think a lot of the Navajo Nation pioneers like pageantry a lot, because initially it was started to preserve cultural and language. So I think for me, my Miss Navajo who inspired me was actually Red Mila Cody, because kind of the um, kind of the bigotry that she encountered being Afro
Mm-hmm.
Native, right, being Black and Navajo. I kind of like took on some of the strengths that she portrayed and that some of the resilience, as even like some of the patience, because right, encountering racism from your own people is not it's not easy. And so she had a lot of understanding, she had a lot of love, she had a lot of just patience for her people. And I think as a transgender woman myself, also as Nudle as well, I had to take on some of that to be understanding of my people, right? Some of the hurtful things they've said to me, and kind of channel that into more of like, how can I give back, right? How can I educate? How can I make it so that another UA in the Navajo Nation or even another Native American community doesn't really have to go through the things I went through, right? How can I make it so that me talking to the elders, right, in our language, me talking to parents, like, educating them our place in our society historically. Um, and even if you don't agree with it, like just loving your children for who they are, stuff like that. Um, I think that's kind of what tribal royalty means to me, is like everyone has to be included, because without us, the circle isn't completed. So
That's
that's
a
my
great
response.
answer. To the young lady with the orange colored crown, my apologies for not getting your name. Um, but answer. We're gonna move on to the next question. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next question because we got some fabulous answers here. So the next one is, what did you learn in your journey or reign that you did not expect to learn? You probably had your answer for the for the person all ready to go, and then I put you in this new question. This is
Oh.
what it means to be a princess. Yeah. Okay, so what did you learn in your journey that you did not expect to learn?
I think something that I learned would have to be like intertribal relations. I didn't expect how many other tribal royalty and tribal governments and how much I would learn about it. And that's something that I'm just absorbing like a sponge now. And I hope to put it more towards my academics too as well. And then it's also been helping me with like cultural awareness and like learning about different communities. I think that's something that's like has been so rewarding about this, about my reign so far.
Great answer. And Cash, you're next. Since this is what started because of you, so let us know how your journey is going and what you did not expect to learn. Oh, see not. This is so different from Zoom. He's not.
Maybe if anyone else is available or has an answer about what did you learn, go ahead. Okay, the two first lieutenant and
Thanks.
yes.
Yeah, Emily, thank you. Yeah, I can answer the question. When I was thinking about this question in terms of supporting Miss Indian Arizona, one thing that I actually learned that I didn't expect to was how to dance and how to social dance. So I come from the Navajo Nation, and I live in Phoenix. I'm a student in Phoenix, and so a lot of the events that I've been able to attend are in Sistine's community in Salt River, and I've been able to, they've been such an amazing community to accept me and kind of teach me, their social dances. And I just love, it's not my community, but just how open they are, how excited they are, that I'm there to learn and participate. So I've actually gotten pretty good at dancing since I first started. But I think one thing that I love about, pageantry is just, learning to be open to learning, seeing all the just beautiful tribes in our state, in the states around us. I love this position, and just all the amazing people that we've been able to meet, the amazing culture and songs and dance. So really happy to share that with you all today. Yeah.
I think I share with you in terms of having to learn about other cultures, because as Miss Indian World, when I competed, there were 38 contestants total. So it was learning about 37 representatives from their tribes at the pageant itself. And one way that I learned from others was by looking at their shoes and what their footwear was. And that, because, well, one, I like shoes, but two, it gives you a background into how our people from these communities lived. And from our Pueblo people, we wear thick-soled shoes so that that if you're walking, the rocks and the cactus don't you know hurt your feet. In the summer, our ancestors wore sandals, but my footwear would not work on like the tundra of the Alaskan people, or they wouldn't work in the Everglades in Florida. So it was really, that's how I really learned to connect with others, was by looking at their shoes and asking them about their shoes, because it really does give an insight. And for also, I'm Pueblo. I grew up in the plaza. I did not grow up in the powwow circle. And so it was to have the Gathering of Nations be my first introduction to any type of powwow. That was a huge learning experience and a huge learning curve for me. So I had to go beyond my comfort zone and ask for help from people in my community who were in growing up or who have been involved in the powwow circle, and ask for help and how to listen to the songs, because that's really, really important when you go to any community, is when they sing and dance, listening to their songs and what they mean, what certain movements mean. It's really important. So that is for me one thing that I did not expect to learn was, um, the magnificence of our indigenous peoples from all over. It's and I'm still fascinated by it. Um, Anyone else want to answer? The young man in the middle, I think he's in my middle with the glasses.
So like I said, it's, I don't know. I think like the biggest thing what these guys are talking about too is kind of developing more of being selfless in a sense, because we are here to advocate and look out for our community. In a sense, that also means like looking out for like the smaller people, the people are unheard of, and just going into like learning more things about other people and putting yourself, putting them before yourself, and I don't know, just being raised and like from the city, being in like such a strong like Western world point of view. I came to ASU actually studying business, and I remember the first things that they told me is like, be selfish. That's all you need to be to get through life, is you need to be selfish and look out for number one. And that's just not me. That's not who I am. And I think being inside like that business program, it really kind of developed me into like the mindset of only looking out for myself. But it was only until like I started like going out for the tribal royalties, I actually started opening up more to other people rather than just myself, which is something that I think everyone kind of needs, and I'm kind of thankful that I developed it as I went on. So yeah.
Thank you. Miss Gila River, how do you exhibit leadership in other areas of your life?
So, one way I exhibit leadership in other areas of my life, I actually have a TikTok account, and right now I have like 60,000 followers on there. And so with that, I do like makeup videos. I do makeup videos, and I incorporate like beaded earrings and matching my beaded earrings, or matching my makeup to my beaded earrings. And a lot of people like that and enjoy seeing that. But with that, it like helps other young girls feel more confident about themselves, and when they see me dressed up, they're like, oh my gosh. And I've encountered like some in real life and they're like, I follow you on TikTok, like I love the way you do your makeup, you inspire me. And it's just so heartwarming to hear what they have to say about their own lives, and being able to see me and giving them that confidence that they need. Another way is I'm actually a part of a dance group that my brother started. So it's traditional Akumarotham dancing. And so with that, I'm one of the main dancers. And my younger siblings and cousins look up to me with that. And even other people within the community. I've had a couple other girls come up to me and are like, I want to learn how to dance. But yeah, thank you.
Charlize?
Like what during my reign, I've only been with the title 2023 of April and then next year. So what I've learned these past 3 months, like there's such a big community, and like there's a lot of opportunities. Like once I joined this, once I got in the title, I didn't know there was a lot of events and like been going on for years, and like it's really fascinating and fun to be part of those events. and just being more interactive with my community that I never thought I would be doing that. So yeah.
How about, let's go with Miss Indian, Arizona.
Hi, hello. So for me, I think exhibiting leadership in other areas of my life. In my community, I'm actually a traditional dancer, which I've been a part since I think the moment I could walk. And I remember just being little at the time and seeing the older girls in my dance group. They would run for our titles too. But just seeing them dancing, it was just so beautiful to be able to follow in their footsteps. And to now at 21 years old, we're getting more younger girls into our dance group. And I used to be the little end dancer, and now I'm the lead dancer now. And just to see the little girls following behind me, it's so amazing to see how much that over the time that you grow, the roles change of your life, and it's something that you do not expect, but it's also a blessing to see actually come into play as well.
Miss Bigay, I know I have a lot of family in the Pride community, and so here in New Mexico, I'm pretty involved as an advocate for the Pride community and our Two Spirit brothers and relatives. Um, but how do the Pride community is so involved in so many aspects. Can you give us a little bit of insight in your leadership in your community in the LA area? And maybe kind of give an insight as to like Pride pageants, while we see them as glamorous with gorgeous, crystal crowns, your community does a lot more beyond the Pride community, and I think that is something that our title holders maybe need to be aware of when it comes, so that when they do move into leadership areas or speak to other organizations, and you can give them some insight as to how you take a title and move it forward so that it's not just a title.
Yeah, so one of the ways that I do leadership within the LA community, both in the queer, trans, and the Native community, is I'm actually the co-chair for this organization called Indigenous Pride LA. Indigenous Pride LA is Los Angeles' only Two-Spirit, Indigiqueer, and Indigenous LGBTQI organization that celebrates our culture, heritage, and identities. And over the past few years, we've held our 5 events during the Sunday before Indigenous Peoples Day. So we've held 5 events, and we've also collaborated with other organizations, other public health institutions, nonprofits, even like mental health providers, providing them trainings on how to better serve the Two-Spirit, Indigiqueer, and Indigenous LGBTQI plus communities. Because the fact of the matter is that a lot of our providers need that education and training, right? A lot of them, from one of the very first workshops I facilitated, a lot of them are scared to talk to us, right? Imagine that, like your provider, you go for help, and mind you, these are like people who work with Native, trans, queer, and Two-Spirit individuals, and they're scared of us. They're scared to say the wrong thing. They're scared to interact with us. They're just scared and nervous and anxious. Well, part of my language, how the hell am I going to get service from you and you are just scared of me? My mere presence makes you anxious. You're supposed to be my provider. You're supposed to be the professional. So that's kind of some of the ways that that I personally have collaborated and done a lot of leadership work within the queer, trans, and Native communities out here in Los Angeles.
Thank you. And I believe this kind of wraps up some of it. According to the moderators, rest of us are going to go off screen. Starsha is going to be on and give some insight from the committee point of view, which would really be good, because if you are really thinking about running for another title, listen to what Starsha has to say because you can get some really good tips here.
So hi, again, my name is Starsha. I sit as the chair on the Hill River Royalty Committee. So for us, for the Hill River Royalty, so Miss Hill River, who is here, as well as our junior Miss Hill River and our attendants, we not only have them, like we're kind of like their agents in a way. So whenever anybody reaches out to wanting to request the girls for an appearance, whether it's to do like a prayer, a song, a dance, Lehua, she's really talented in singing. She has a really beautiful voice. So she does get requested a lot to sing at different events. And then just a plug there, if you guys ever, if anybody wants to request her, you know, more than welcome to, or any of our royalty. I know with the different royalty, myself personally, when I was participating in the high school pageant, you know, you run in the pageant and that's kind of the extent of it. You have your title, you have your crown, your sash, and you kind of just do things on your own. It's left up to you to plan events or to attend events. And for me, I was very fortunate because I did have my mother at the time. Unfortunately, you know, my mother has passed away since then. But with her, she was, you know, kind of my agent when I had those high school titles. And she would, you know, book me. She would be my main point of contact. She printed out business cards for me for my different events that I could hand out. And she was the one who was like, you know, you need to go out there. You need to do your, what she called do your rounds, which was at the event, you go greet everybody. And then after you're done greeting everybody, you know, thanking them for attending and introducing yourself, after that, you would go to, you know, the event coordinator and she'd be like, ask them if they need help. So that's what, you know, my mom was very adamant on that. And she would, on the ride home from, you know, our event, because I was lucky to have my older sister with me as well. She was a title holder. So when I was in the high school one, she was representing our tribe as Junior Miss Hill River. My mom on the ride home would critique us. And she would say, you were slouching, or you weren't smiling enough, you weren't excited enough. And, you know, I really appreciated those pointers that my mom would give. And she would do it in a motherly way, but she would also do it in a, you know, chaperone way, very strict way. And it was because of her that I was able to become, you know, the individual that I am today, because of that leadership she provided, those critiques that she provided to me. And sitting on the committee now for the Hill River Royalty, I'm able to give those things to my girls as well, for the current royalty as well as the previous royalty that I had the honor to assist and chaperone. So, you know, as soon as we get to events, I'm like, go do your rounds. And we actually just had our orientation for our Hill River Royalty yesterday. So we went over the tribe's history, the tribal seal, public speaking, public appearance etiquette, as well as table etiquette. We went over because, as Lehua previously stated, we do represent two tribes. We represent both the Akimet and the Peepash. So we did have an individual come in to teach them two songs, as well as to go over the meanings of the songs. And we had, for our Peepash side, we had bird dancers come in and teach the girls, you know, bird etiquette, and to actually teach them how to dance, you know, the bird dancing. So that's my job as the committee, not only to ensure that, you know, my girls are behaving appropriately at all times, not just at events, but in their daily lives, but also to kind of coordinate events and act as their agent, keep their calendar events, keep them updated of like, oh, you know, these are your chaperone for this event. Because I'm very fortunate to have a very supportive committee where we all communicate with one another. And we all take turns in chaperoning all of the different girls for the different events because they do get pretty busy. And here in Arizona, we do tend to get, we're really warm right now, but as the weather cools off, that's when all the events really happen, is during the fall, winter, and spring. So we are getting pretty busy. And I'm very, fortunate to be able to give that insight as to, what a committee is, as well as what our purpose is. So for us, we're able to give these girls platforms, which is what they will promote throughout their reign. So whether it's, I know our current junior miss, Eleanor Lynch, hers is Missing and Murdered Indigenous People. And she is actually hosting her platform event this coming Saturday on our reservation. And, Miss Hilary Lehua just had her platform event because she's promoting the teaching of our traditional ways, not only to the youth, but also to all ages. Because as we know, not everybody knows our traditional languages, the songs, the dances, the meanings. No matter what age you are, you can always learn those. And that's what she's encouraging. So she held our Autumn New Year, which we celebrate at summer solstice because that's when we consider, the new year to begin. And then they usually have a conjoined event in the winter that they are actually in the midst of planning as well. And that's something I really appreciate because having been a former junior Miss Hillary, I didn't get that opportunity. Mine was solely like you attend events, you help out, maybe you offer a song and dance to, as a filler or what have you. And I'm very glad that the current committee that I sit on, we're very encouraging of the girls of planning their event. So for Lehua, when she planned her event, she was the one who was networking. She was the one emailing, sending out letters. And that's what we try and teach them, is for all of them to promote and learn. So we, approve things. Luckily, we, for our committee, we do have a budget that we have to abide by. So we're able to assist the girls in that manner. But we also allow them to learn and fully plan this event, because this is their event that they plan that promotes, whatever topic they're doing their platform on. So my role as a committee member is to, chaperone, act as an agent, keep their calendar of events, communicate them of what attire they're going to wear, what they can work better on, what they did well on, as well as teaching them and allowing them and just supporting them. So that's what I do as a committee member is, yes, we do have the final say when it really truly comes down to it, but a vast majority of the time, we allow these girls to take full reign of their event. They get to choose vendors that they want to utilize. And then, if it's like not costly, sometimes we're like, oh, maybe you should go with this vendor instead. But that's something I truly appreciate and I get the amazing opportunity to watch these girls blossom, because sometimes they'll start off as really shy, really timid, and then you just get to see them bloom into these beautiful young women who before would have a very hard time speaking in public. And then at the end of the reign, you get to see them how outgoing and welcoming they learn to be, as well as just how graceful. And that's something I truly appreciate in my role and that I get to see. So that's what I have to share about from the committee's aspect.
Your feedback reminds me of one of our title holders from Acoma, and she grew up with the language being spoken around her. She could introduce herself and understand when conversation in our language, which is Keres, was given to her. And her platform was language revitalization. And through the year, she worked so hard that by the end of the year, she gave her entire speech, her returning speech in Keres. No notes, just straight from the heart, straight from, our just learning. and pushing that. And so, that whole blossoming effect of a young woman, or a young title holder is truly like one of the remarkable experiences of being a committee member. And you know, one there was a you know, even you had said, "Oh, I can't remember my introduction." Um, it's like at least and it's like your tongue will remember how to speak the words and how to flow. You just have to use it. Um, in Caris or in Pueblo, we have people saying "imi," which means I'm scared. And people ask me, well, how do you do all the things you do? And I said, well, when something comes, when an when an event or when an experience comes before me, I try not to think of "imi." I try not to be scared. I just do it. And which is, when I ran for Miss Indian World, I had no experience in a pageant whatsoever, but I couldn't let those voices telling me "imi," don't do it, or I could not do it. So I entered, and we have to really teach our youth that, sometimes the best things you do you can have a little bit of fear in it. But if it however the outcome is, at least you really, gained a lot of experience in doing it. And I really like how you've taken on the role of your mom, of how your mom um not handled, but prepared you during your titles. And it's like the table has flipped. You've become your mom to these title holders. And in Acoma, I always tell the title holders that you can address me as your mother, because I'm probably old enough to be your mom, or you can address me as your auntie or your sister, however you feel. But it's in Karis, the word for auntie and mom is Naya. And so it means the same thing. So whether they see me as auntie or mom, or if they just call me Naya, I'll be their Naya. And that's how we've really seen, especially at Miss Acoma. I used to be on the Miss Indian New Mexico pageant committee. And again, each committee is very different. There it was required a lot of committee input in terms of who, for your calendar, for getting permission to go to events. For Miss Indian World, 26 years ago, my my parents were my agent. And so if somebody called and said, "Hey, Shai, can you show up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And most of the time I went to an event with not expecting anything, not expecting any payment, any honorarium. If I got gas money, great. If I got some food, if I got fed, that's even better, because I like to eat. And so it just depends on your committee. But I think that it's really important for title holders to work with their committee, and for the committee members to always be open-minded to your title holder, because each one is different. Each one has their own path and their whole journey, and you can't compare it to your journey, and you can't compare it to past title holders' journey, because you just have to. It's like raising a child. You have to let them organically lead the way, and you be there to support. So it's really cool. I like the insight, and how you also bring in the dancers to teach, especially if they do not know. That's also really, really important to include that culture.
What I found really awesome and really surprising when we did bring we actually attended an event on like the tail end of our reservation, because we're comprised of 7 districts. So in District 7 is where the Peeposh reside. And we had, the girls attended the event, they participated in everything. And we had one of the parents actually say, like, I didn't even know that they still practice bird dancing. And as, kind of like shocking as that was, it was like, well, good. Like, I'm glad that, you have this opportunity to see it, because I myself, as well as, my siblings, we grew up around that because we lived in District 6, which is, right on the border of District 7. But also, our grandfather, Roland Golding, um, is a bird singer. So I grew up on the weekends, listening to him singing and actually learning to bird dance. I don't bird dance anymore, but it makes me really happy to be able to hear, the youth as well as the parents themselves becoming interested and to see that interest sparking in them. And another aspect of being a committee member is I do personally like message people I know from their parents like, hey, maybe you should consider having somebody run. Or I know there's a lot of formers that are like, how old are you? And then they'll let them know and encourage the girl that they come across to be like, you should really consider running. So that's a big part of it too, is promoting not just the girls themselves, the court, but also the program itself. Because for us, we are a scholarship. Um, program, so we do provide that at the end of their term is, that scholarship opportunity for both the junior miss as well as the miss. The advice that I would provide to other royalty, or for others that want to participate in this, or like maybe you just had that interest spark, is just do it. Just do it. Do it just to get the experience, to meet new people, because my very first pageant that I ran in, I was 14 years old. It was the Miss Indian Phoenix Union High School District. And I remember they extended the application an hour for me because I was trying to get a hold of my transcript. And I was not doing it to win. I was not doing it. No one encouraged me. No one, was like, oh, you should, or you better, or anything like that. It was purely like, you know what? I'm going to do this for me. And I'm going to do it just because, I want to. And I'm very fortunate that I did, because at the time I was very shy. I was very timid. I did not like speaking at all. I spoke horribly. I would constantly be like, stumble over my words. So just do it, honestly. I sound like Nikki. But I think that's a big thing, is just even putting your hat in the ring, regardless of, where you place, whether you're second, first attendant, or whether you become the title holder, is truly just do it for the experience. The girls I competed against, amazing, women now, and I still am friends with them. I still do, talk to them on occasion. Of course, as you get older, you do lose contact, but that's something I always appreciate. And even when I ran the second time for Miss Indian Phoenix Union High School District, you just meet so many amazing people, and you make so many networking connections. Like, I know her as Dee Dee, but she's now, like, I believe, a Navajo Nation Council delegate. And then you just maintain those friendships forever, honestly. And that's something that I truly appreciate. So that's my advice to you, is to just do it. You always have time to prepare. Go with your strength. If you're a strong speaker, you're not really scared. That can be your talent, is storytelling. I know for me, because that did become my strong suit, was I did, continue every pageant I competed in was storytelling. And it allows you to learn more about the stories that, your tribe has, or even the songs. And something else is just practice. Truly, truly practice, and put your best foot forward no matter what. If you mess up during your, introduction or what have you, something I would recommend is, don't stop, don't apologize, especially if you're on stage. Just keep going, because the audience doesn't know you messed up. The only one who knows you messed up is probably you and whoever is assisting you. So whether that's like your mom, your dad, or whoever, worked with you on your items, the judges won't know you messed up. So just go out there, just do it, put your best foot forward, practice, definitely practice, and own your space when you speak publicly. And that's something I, told my girls, and you take your power stance and you truly, truly use that space. Especially, if you're on stage, because sometimes it's a big stage, walk around, use hand motions. I know personally, I talk a lot with my hands. You can't really see it right now, but I do. So that's my, advice to those who, do want to pursue the royalty path. And it makes me really happy to see so many, out there today, and so many youth just putting forth that effort. And something I always say, and is I truly love this generation because they are truly outspoken. Like my younger sister, she is so sassy, and she will call you out on, pretty much anything. Both my siblings are like that, as well as, my own son. He will call me out on certain things or be like, "No, Mom, I don't think that's right." So you definitely have that power, and create that space for Native American youth, because even though you are the youth right now, you won't always be.
Yeah, I
You're
think
going to
that's
be an elder
one of
to
the
share.
biggest things is that just do it. And your network grows when you run for a title. I mean, I learned from 37 other contestants when I ran. The following year, when I gave up the title, learned from those contestants. And then I also ran for Miss NCAI and Miss Indian USA, came first runner up in both. And there my network grew. And we still communicate with each other. We still have connections with each other. They'll come to my rescue if I need them. And it's just you gain more family. And it's, even though your family, it's by pageantry, and not all family is by blood. And so this is like my chosen family, and we still keep connected with each other. And just for that, I think that applying for a title so that you have that support within your community when you get a new network, it'll help, and it'll remain consistent for your entire life. So thank you for allowing me on here. I didn't mean to take over your role, Avril, but it was like, okay, let's jump in. And yeah, that's just the Miss Indian world in me, I guess.
That's what I appreciate about leadership, though. It's jumping in when you can, helping out when you can. And I was talking, but nobody can hear me, but because there was a lot of people online. So I appreciate you for doing that and jumping in. I do want to bring in Cash. My sister. She's actually my twin sister. This is my nephew. So I'm going to have Cash come on. I really do appreciate both of you being here and the information that you're providing. This is the reason why this is happening, because of Cash. So I'm going to bring Cash on. Hi, Sunny. Can you hear me?
There he is.
Awesome. Oh, there he was. I don't know if he's still there, but he was having technical difficulties, and I guess he still is. So we'll see if he will pop back on. If not, nope, I think he left us. But if not, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, so much for taking over when you could and when you did, and leading everything. Those are just the leadership skills that we have learned to trust and learn to be okay with taking on a role that didn't even expect to happen. And I just am really happy that you're here. I'm going to see if Cash can come back on.
You can take me off, and then maybe Cash will be able to stay on. So thank you so much for the invite. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you. Cash, can you hear me? What is that? I don't know what that is. Can you hear me, Sunny? Okay. Well, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I can see you. I can see you moving. Do you want to introduce yourself? Can you? Try to say something. Okay. Oh, well. Not oh, well, but there's a reason why this is happening. And I would just want you all to know that that was my son, my nephew, not my son. Well, he's my sonny, my nephew. And I just want to say thank you to him because he's the reason why we're here. He's the reason why this is all happening. And I'm really glad he was working today, so that's why he was late. But not making excuses, this all happened because of this young boy who won a title, and I wanted to support him. So just like others that have been supported, I appreciate you all for being here. Jen, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
I learned so much, and I'm so grateful to Cash that he inspired this whole event. And I wish him the best on his reign. And to anyone out there that's thinking about running, I really encourage it. I think that the woman that was here and stepped right in as moderator when we were having technical difficulties, I think that is a beautiful example because you will always, people will be looking at you and you'll always have a spotlight on you. And it's important to know how to speak in public and to do it in a composed manner as she did. I admire that so much because I know backstage we were like, things are happening, technical difficulties. So thank you again for inviting me to be part of this. And I hope that people can watch it in the replay. And I hope everyone has a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here as well. Everybody, if you don't know, follow Jen on her platforms. But before we go, I do want to share the platforms of UA and ASU Royalty, their committee Instagram and their email address. Also, the current Miss Hilla River and her Instagram and her email. Just want to make sure that we get this information out to everybody so that they can follow you, they can encourage you, they can watch your journey. I know Cash is having, again, he's not here right now. His mom is here in the background, but I don't know if she'd want to come on. We're already at the end of our show, but it doesn't necessarily take anybody to support you or encourage you. I appreciate what was said earlier. It's because they wanted to do it. But if you do also have support and encouragement, turn to those individuals as well. And I say that because I'm on here talking la, but before this, I was like freaking out, and I talked to Jen. I talked to my sister Songtree. She made all these calls. Jen, helped me get through this, and my intern as well has helped me in the background do all this to make it happen. So I appreciate all of you that have been here today, all of you that are watching. We will continue to be coming on live monthly. So next month, please look for us again. I do want to say thank you to our sponsors, Phoenix Indian Center, Paul Gowder at PowWows.com, Native Muse, Big Crow Consulting, and all those royalty former and current, and those wanting to be royalty. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate you. And ta'a. Thank you. That ends. We'll see you later. Have a great day.
Aloha.